If you wondered that Hanazuki went on a massacre by a lotus plant, she killed everyone. Note, the story is inspired by Wonder Pets, The Final Hours, Rewritten, Hyogabagaba, Meteor, Higglytown Heroes, The End of Higglytown, Makamoru, The End of the Forest, Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, The Final Day in the Neighborhood, Candy Manny, The Final Hours, Stanley, Final Hours, and Miss Spider, Sunny Patch's Final Hours. And also, this is narrated by Ken, Eraser, Blocky, and Snowball from BFD. So let's begin the story. The story. It started with Ken, Blocky, Eraser, and Snowball playing a game of rock, paper, scissors until the mailman delivered a package which had Hanazuki's colors. Then Ken opened it, and it was a Hanazuki, full of treasures. DVD. The DVD cover had Hanazuki happily hugging the yellow, blue, and red Hankas, while the other Hankas, Dazzle Jones, and Sleepy Unicorn, were behind her with text above them reading, Hanazuki, full of treasures, Season 3 is here. With the DVD video logo in the bottom left and the Warner Brothers Home Entertainment logo in the bottom right. The spine in the code red. And the back of the cover had Season 3. Blocky asked. I thought it only had 2 seasons. Oh well. Let's go watch the DVD. Ken spoke. Come on, Ken. Eraser told Ken. Yes, yes, yes. Blocky agreed. Come on. Snowball told Ken. Ken then opened the DVD to be what to looked like a disc, and it looked like it was on a high budget. The disc had the same as the DVD cover. Ken, Eraser, Blocky, and Snowball then gathered around the DVD as Ken put the DVD in the DVD player. Chapter 0. The DVD's opening logos, interlude. It started with the FBI warning screen, but it was off. The background was red and orange and there was fire. Then the Warner Brothers Home Entertainment logo came up, but it was the same as Rainbow Ruby, Ruby's Vengeance. Then it showed the Hasbro Studios logo, but it was different. The background was normal, and she was holding a suitcase. Come on, Buzz. She whimpered in the voice of Misty from Pokemon. I don't want to die. Wait. I remember what Tease told me. Panicking will make this disaster worse. Just then, she heard the bus beep. Oh, good. She sighed in relief. The bus is here. The bus then arrived, as Hasbro Studios. The bus drove off, while the Nodalexian jingle was in the background, ending the logo. After those 2 logos, it then showed previews like Transformers Prime, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic and Equestria Girls, Peppa Pig, Beyblade, Baby Alive, and Pound Puppies. After the previews, it took us to the main menu. The menu consisted of a shot of Hanazuki's moon, with the DVD logo in the top left. Hanazuki was happily hugging the 3 Hankas like in the cover, and the other Hankas and Dazzle Jones were in the center. The main menu music was the Vocaloid version of the Hanazuki intro. There were 5 options. Episode selection, play all, animated shorts, visit Hasbro, and more Hanazuki, full of treasures fun. Well, let's just play all. Eraser told them. And pressed play all so Blocky, Eraser, and Snowball can finally watch the show. The DVD began. It showed the episodes that were playing in order were The Shattered Moon, Moonflower Brother, The Whispering Trees, Little Dreamer's Burden, The Unsent Message, The Big Bad's Origin, Little Dreamer's Secret, Kayazuki's Reckoning, The Twisted Truth, Miroshi's Frozen Past, The Heart of the Big Bad, New Beginnings, A New Little Dreamer, The Dark Side's Bloom, Miroshi's Frozen Memory, Kyoshi's Black Treasure, The Mazadril's Choice, The Final Stand. After the episodes, it showed a warning, which took place in the credits. Warning, the following episode may contain death and destruction that are related to apocalyptic movies such as 2012, Clenny Brown, Kevin Shawnee and Ted Morgan, before they got fired in Hasbro, so it may be inappropriate for younger audiences. Watch at your own risk and thank you. Oh, Blocky said, shocked. Chapter 1, The Intro. The intro from Season 2 then played, but the galaxy was orange, and the singing was demonic. But Hanazuki and the others didn't mind it, and there were a lot of changes made. There was fire in the background. When Hanazuki saw the treasure trees, blood splattered in the ground. And at the end, Hanazuki covered her ears, as the United Kingdom East played in the background. Then came the show's logo, but the letters were black and around it was red. Just like the end of Higglytown. After the weird theme song, the episode began. The episode title faded in and read Hanazuki's final hours. Instead of Hanazuki reading the title card, it was a 8-ball voice reading the card. Guys, guess what? Mayumi asked. It cut to an excited Mayumi. D&D are coming to our house. Then the door knock. Okay. I will open the door. Kayazuki said. She opened the door to see D&D. Well, they are here. She called. Hi. D greeted. Hello. Kayazuki greeted back. So, are you ready for this? Dazzlesons Jones asked. Yeah. D&D exclaimed. Good. Just sit at the table, and if there's not enough chairs, grab some extras. Sleepy Unicorn informed. Chapter 2, No Foods in the Fridge. As Hanazuki checked the fridge, she was surprised. There were no food inside the fridge. Oh, we are all out of cereal. Hanazuki said, shocked. Oh no. He gasped. Where are we going to find food that we can actually eat from? Guys, calm down. I know somewhere. Yellow Anka thought, in the voice of Finn from Adventure Time. It then faded to Hanazuki, Kayazuki, Kyoshi, Chris, Miroshi, Mayumi, Yellow Anka, Dazzlesons Jones, Sleepy Unicorn, Lime Green Hanka, D&D arriving at Walmart Chapter 3, Walmart. Wait, huh? I don't remember seeing a Walmart supercenter in Hanazuki, full of treasures. Anne thought. Here we are, Walmart. Chris told them. I have never been to this place before. He gasped. I have heard that this place is totally worth it. Kayazuki gasped too. Well, let's go in. Hanazuki, Kayazuki, Kyoshi, Chris, Miroshi, Mayumi, Yellow Anka, Dazzlesons Jones, Sleepy Unicorn, Lime Green Hanka, D&D were so excited to see what Walmart looked like, and it was. They were all amazed how good woman looked like. Which one should I pick? Hanazuki asked. I think you should pick the cereal, fruits, vegetables, and many more. Kayazuki told Hanazuki. Okay, Kayazuki. Hanazuki said. I got an apple. Yellow Anka said. And I got grapes. Lime Green said in the voice of Jake from Adventure Time. And I got meat. Mayumi said. But wait. There's more. He said. It then showed a 30-second montage of the gang getting the food later. Chapter 4, Tease. Sleepy Unicorn was about to say something. Alright, now where do we? But before he could finish, Tease's alarm played in the speakers. What's going on? Hanazuki shouted. Then an announcer spoke which sounded like Anchor from Pot. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. All normal broadcasting, radio broadcasting, and even more has been discontinued during this alert. There is an asteroid that is named N62 Meteor is going to hit the planet, and it'll cause severe damages to vehicles, buildings, and even more. Seek shelter immediately. If there's no shelter available, get to the public shelter. If you don't have a vehicle, then get to a bus stop, or a taxi cab stand, or a tricycle or a motorcycle and ask to get to the public shelter. If you're not able to find a bus stop, or a taxi cab stand, or a tricycle or a motorcycle, then run to the public shelter as quick as possible. Do not panic, remain calm. Panicking will make this disaster worse. So stay tuned for more information about this situation, and good luck seeking shelter. He was about to scream, but luckily, Kyoshi covered his mouth and asked, "Didn't you listen? Panicking will only make it worse." "Okay, but we need to head to the checkout," he thought. They then headed to the checkout, and they headed out of Walmart. When they were out of Walmart, they saw that the sky was turning red, and everyone was rushing to the shelter. Hanazuki called a taxi, and they went in, without a driver. "Why is there no driver?" Hanazuki asked in horror. "No time to ask," Hanazuki berated. "Get in. Move. Move. Move." They all nodded, as they got in. Chapter 5, D's Mock. Soon afterwards, it cut to I, R, and S watching TV. All of a sudden, their expressions changed from happy to shocked, as D's alarm played. Then it showed the front view of the TV. "Oh no!" S panicked. "This can't be. We're doomed." S started to scream, but he sounded like alphabet lore scream sound effects, AZ, by Martin Lizarraga. S, "Panicking will only make this worse." "No, not me," its letter responded. "Whatever the case, let's race to our car and look for shelter," R exclaimed. Then they all raced to the car and went for a ride to find shelter. Meanwhile in the taxi, Hanazuki checked her phone and he was surprised. "The world will end in 5 minutes," she warned. "Heck no!" he screamed. "It's okay guys, I found shelter," he informed to Blocky. "Then let's head for it," Mayumi exclaimed. "Hang on tight people," he exclaimed. He put it on full power. Miraculously, the car landed in the shelter without crashing. When they arrived at the parking lot, everyone got off. The next thing they saw was John's car crashing into the parking lot. "Silly car," R berated. "Well, what do you know?" he asked, as I, R and S climbed out of the car. "It's those guys again. The ones that were trying to take over my theme song," I explained. "No time for fighting. The world will end soon," Hanazuki berated. Chapter 6, Everyone arrived in the shelter. It then cut to a plane that had arrived at the shelter. People were screaming as they were getting into the shelter. It then cut to many number lore, including Sage's number lore, and Discovery Family characters, as well as mascots for logos like Warner Brothers, arriving at the shelter, like Pinkie Pie, Twilight Sparkle, Applejack, Rarity, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, Scootaloo, Discord, 1, 2, and 3, Chuck and his friends, Strawberry Shortcake, Berry Bitty Adventures, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Kenny the Shark, Annie Ling, and Bugs Bunny. Soon afterwards, it cut to everyone at the shelter. "We're glad you have arrived," Hanazuki relieved. "Say, who are these people?" Kyoshi asked. Then they all greeted themselves. After greeting themselves, D&D, Hanazuki, Kyoshi, Chris, Miroshi, Mayumi, Yellow Hanka, Dazzle Since Jones, Sleepy Unicorn, and Lime Green Hanka introduced themselves. Just then, the scene cut to the Meteor soaring for 15 seconds, then it cut the gang in the shelter. "Chris, any updates?" Pinkie Pie asked. "Lem check for 1 sec," Chris informed. "Come on in 1 minute, get to the shelter fast." "Oh no," Chris gasped. "I think the world will end in 1 minute." "1 minute?" Rarity gasped. "Holy Grail." Optimus Prime and Bumblebee panicked. "We're gonna go boom." Annie Ling and Bugs Bunny screamed as well. "None of us wanna die." Scootaloo screamed. "I don't wanna die too." Rarity agreed. "Hurry, everyone. Get into the shelter. Now." Then after everyone got in, Rarity and Fluttershy got in the bunker. Chapter 7, The Countdown. Then, as the meteor was about to hit the ground, a countdown began, but with every number the scene changed. 10. The helicopter in fire after it crashed to the Earth protection sign. 9. Well, it's the end. Let's all say our goodbyes. Pinkie Pie sobbed. 8. A stick figure running from a street. 7. Watch your heads. Hasbro Studios alerted. 6. It's gonna blow. Annie Ling screamed. 5. D-E-I-R and S screaming in horror. 4. I'm gonna explode and become non-existent. Kenny the shark panicked. 3. Cars crashing into places. 2. Hanazuki, Kaizuki, Kyoshi, Chris, Miroshi, Miami, Yellow Anka, Dazzle Since Jones, Sleepy Unicorn, and Lime Green Hanka braced for impact. 1. The house where Hanazuki, Kaizuki, Kyoshi, Chris, Miroshi, Miami, Yellow Anka, Dazzle Since Jones, Sleepy Unicorn, and Lime Green Hanka live. 0. The meteor hit the ground causing an explosion. The scene then cut to parts of the moon exploding, as an orchestral version of the Hanazuki extended theme song was playing in the background. But it was played in a key of F and in a minor key. It then transitioned to the bunker which was blasting off in the explosion. Jelkrid. A coughs, when the entire world got destroyed. Ugh. What happened? A groaned. And where is everyone? What is happening? Miami screamed. Don't ya know? It's the end of the world. He screamed. Ooh and ooh. Strawberry Shortcake yelled. Brace yourselves. One panicked. We're going down. Miroshi yelled. Everyone in the bunker was screaming, which all sounded like the characters of their own, plus the B and Animaniacs scream. It then faded to black. It stayed black for 30 seconds. Chapter 8, The Bright Figure. Until a bright figure of Hanazuki, Kaizuki, Kyoshi, Chris, Miroshi, Miami, Yellow and Lime Green Hanka, Dazzle Since Jones, and Sleepy Unicorn faded in. There was an unknown-year-old man speaking in the background. Wake up, Hanazuki, Kaizuki, Kyoshi, Chris, Miroshi, Miami, Yellow and Lime Green Hanka, Dazzle Since Jones, and Sleepy Unicorn. The boy voice spoke. Ugh. Who is it? Kyoshi asked tiredly, off screen. It's me, Stephen Davis. The boy voice spoke. S-Stephen dash D dash this? Hanazuki questioned tiredly, off screen. I gotta ask you all, is the series over? The boy voice asked. What? Dazzle Since Jones questioned tiredly, off screen. If yes, it is. If no, it's not. So pick a choice. Never mind. Anyways, it's over. The boy voice spoke. Then the bright figure faded out slowly. Wait. I said. What, if the entire world has gotta be back to normal? It then faded to Hanazuki, Kaizuki, Kyoshi, Chris, Miroshi, Miami, Yellow and Lime Green Hanka, Dazzle Since Jones, and Sleepy Unicorn waking up from their blackout, and got out of the shelter and looked around. This is the end. Hanazuki gasped. Of course it is. Miami agreed. It then cut to Hanazuki, Kaizuki, Kyoshi, Chris, Miroshi, Miami, Yellow Anka, Dazzle Since Jones, Sleepy Unicorn, and Lime Green Hanka walking through the destroyed moon looking concerned. Oh no. Lime Green Hanka gasped. The moon is destroyed. There are piles of debris everywhere. Yellow Anka stated. Chapter 9, Hanazuki's house is completely destroyed. After that, it showed Hanazuki's house now in ruins. What happened to my house? Hanazuki gasped. It caught on fire due to the meteor's force. The firefighter explained. Hanazuki, Kaizuki, Kyoshi, Chris, Miroshi, Miami, Yellow Anka, Dazzle Since Jones, Sleepy Unicorn, and Lime Green Hanka then turned sad. Oh no, how could this be? Hanazuki gasped. I can't believe it. Miami sobbed. Hanazuki's poor house is completely destroyed. Lime Green Hanka whimpered. Now we have nowhere else to live. Chris said. Why? Yellow Anka cried. Everyone got where Hanazuki, Kaizuki, Kyoshi, Chris, Miroshi, Miami, Yellow Anka, Dazzle Since Jones, Sleepy Unicorn, and Lime Green Hanko were. Okay, why did you guys go away? He asked, before finishing his sentence. What happened here? He wondered. It looks like Hanazuki's house is on fire. Anyling panicked. Now where will Hanazuki, Kayazuki, Kyoshi, Chris, Miroshi, Miami, Yellow Anka, Dazzlesons Jones, Sleepy Unicorn, and Lime Green Hanko live? Optimus Prime cried. It's all gone now. Kenny the Shark sobbed. Hanazuki's house is in ruins. Hanazuki's house. Dot said. We will miss you tremendously. It was right before everyone started crying. But it sounded like all of their voice actors were crying in pain. Goodbye forever, Hanazuki's house. Everyone sobbed. Everyone then immediately started breaking into tears, ending the episode. The credits then rolled, but they were different. The background was orange, and Hanazuki was singing a cover of My Immortal by Evanescence. What did we watch? Ann said, shocked. Before the logos came up, the message said, thank you for watching Hanazuki, full of treasures. For 2 seconds. The Titmouse Incorporated, Hasbro Studios, and Warner Brothers. Television logos came up, but they were off. The Titmouse logo came up, but it was on fire. The bird was injured, and it said chirp. In a weak voice. Then the Hasbro Studios logo came up, but it was also off. The background was normal. The text Studios was red, but Hasbro covered her ears, as the USA's alarm was heard in the background. Lastly, the Warner Brothers television logo came up, but the background was on fire, and was screaming, while the Nodalexian jingle was heard in the background. It cut to black for 5 seconds, before static filled the screen before cutting to the fucking shit jumpscare. Then it showed an edited picture of Hanazuki from the episode Little Blue Anka, where she was surprised, but she had a big mouth and her eyes were black hollow holes with blue, green and red dots, as she was crying blood. The creepy imagery featured the screaming of the Wonder Pets from Save the Wonder Pets, where they were being swallowed whole by a whale, the Itty/Alphanim, the Sonic Egg scream, the Gummy Bear scream, the Godzilla roar, the Bee scream, Studio 989's Void logo scream and the Void Einstein scream. After the jump scares, it cut to an aqua background with Hanazuki, Kayazuki, Kyoshi, Chris, Miroshi, Miami, Yellow Anka, Dazzlesons Jones, Sleepy Unicorn, and Lime Green Hanka at the bottom, and in the text said, thanks for collecting treasures with Hanazuki, full of treasures. Accompanied that was the My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic theme song. This went on for 30 before cutting to black for 1 second and then taking us back to the menu. Epilogue. That was weird. Eraser thought. Snowball ejected the disc and burned it with fiery. Blocky sent an email to Stephen Davis. Meanwhile, he emailed us. They said, I'm sorry, if you four are scared of Hanazuki, full of treasures, Hanazuki's Final Hours episode. It was made by Plenty Brown, Kevin Shawnee and Ted Morgan. They decided to make the episode around 2024. He was fired after he animated it and aired in Discovery Family, and we're gonna put them in prison after making that episode. It was originally planned for a scrapped season 3, but it tried to be taken down due to its outcome, but released because it was too late. Snowball, Blocky, Eraser and Ken are angry at Plenty Brown, Kevin Shawnee and Ted Morgan for making that episode. Plenty Brown, Kevin Shawnee and Ted Morgan are cowards. And berated. Snowball, Blocky, Eraser and Ken really started to have nightmares about that episode. The end.